Hi, guys, this is your reader Pameli, and today I'm going to start with a new book which is by Arundhati Roy, The Algebra of Infinite Justice. So let's start. I'm reading the first chapter, The End of Imagination. May 1988. It will go down in history books, provided, of course, we have history books to go down in. Provided, of course, we have a future. There is nothing new or original left to be said about nuclear weapons. There can be nothing more humiliating for a writer of fiction to have to do that restate a case that has, over the years, already been made by other people in other parts of the world, and made passionately, eloquently, and knowledgeably. I am prepared to grovel, to humiliate myself abjectly because, in the circumstances, silence would be indefensible. So, those of you who are willing, let's pick up our parts, put on these discarded costumes, and speak our second hand lines in this sad second hand play. But let's not forget that the stakes we are playing for are huge. Our fatigue and our shame could mean the end of us, the end of our children and our children's children. Of everything we love, we reach to within ourselves and find the strength to think, to fight. Once again, we are pitiful behind the times, not just scientifically and technologically, ignore the hollow claims, but more pertinently in our ability to grasp the true nature of nuclear weapons. Our comprehension of the horror department is hopelessly obsolete. Here we are, all of us in India, in Pakistan, discussing the finer of politics and foreign policy, behaving for all the world as though our governments have just devised a newer, bigger bomb, a sort of immense hand grenade with which they will annihilate the enemy, each other, and protect us from all harm. How desperately we want to believe that. What wonderful, willing, well behaved, gullible subjects we have turned out to be. The rest of humanity, yes, I know. But let's ignore them for the moment. They fortified their voters a long time ago. The rest of humanity may not forgive us, but then the rest of humanity, depending on who fashions its views, may not know what a tired, dejected, heartbroken people we are. Perhaps it doesn't realize how urgently we need a miracle, how deeply we yearn for magic. If only nuclear was just another kind of war, if only it was about the usual things, nations and territories, gods and histories, if only those of us who dread it were just worthless moral cowards who were not prepared to die in defense of our beliefs. If only nuclear was the kind of war in which countries and men battle men, but it isn't. If there is a nuclear war, our foes will not be China or America and even each other. Our foe will be the earth herself. The very elements, the sky, the air, the land, the wind, and water, will all turn against us. Their wrath will be terrible. Our cities and forests, our fields and villages will burn for days. Rivers will turn to poison, and the air will become fire. The wind will spread the flames. When everything there is to burn has burned, the fire dies. Smoke will rise and shut out the sun. The earth will be enveloped in darkness. There will be no day, only interminable night. Temperature will drop to far below freezing, and nuclear winter will set in. Water will turn into toxic ice. Radioactive fallout will sleep throughout the earth and contaminate groundwater. Most living things, animal and vegetable, fish and fowl, will die. Only rats and cockroaches will breed and multiply our and compete the for aging relict humans for what little food there is. What shall we do then? Those of us who are still alive, burned and blind and bald and ill, carrying the cancerous carcasses of our children in our arms, where shall we go? What shall we eat? What shall we drink? What shall we breathe? The head of the Health, Environment and Safety Group of Bhabha Atomic Research Center in Bombay has a plan. He declared in an interview that India could survive nuclear war. His advice is that if there is a nuclear war, we should adopt the same safety measures as one scientists recommend in the event of an accident at nuclear plants. Take iodine pills, he suggests, and other steps such as remaining indoors and consuming only stored food and avoiding milk. Infants should be given powdered milk. People in the danger zone should immediately go to the ground floor and, if possible, to the basement. What do we do with these levels of lunacy? What do you do if you are trapped in an asylum and the doctor are all dangerously deranged? Ignore it. It's just a novelist naviate, they will tell you. Doomsday prophets hyperbole. It will never come to that. There will be no war. Nuclear weapons are about peace, not war. Deterrence is the buzzword of the people who like to think of themselves as hawks. Nice birds, those cool, stylish, predatory, pity. There won't be many of them around after the war. Extension is a word we must try and get used to. Deterrence is an old thesis that has been resurrected and is being recycled with added local flavor. The theory of deterrence cornered the credit for having prevented the War from turning into a Third World War. The only immutable fact that the Third World War is that if there is nothing to be won, it will be fought after the Second World War. In other words, there is no fixed schedule. In other words, we have time, and perhaps the pun, the Third World War, is prescient. True, the Cold War is over, but let's not be hookwinked by the 10-year lull in nuclear posturing. It was just a cruel joke. It was only in remission. It wasn't cured. It proves no theories. After all, what is 10 years in the history of the world? Here it is again, the disease, more widespread and less amenable to any sort of treatment than ever. No, the theory of deterrence has some fundamental laws. So I'll read out the laws in my next video. Please stay tuned and please like and subscribe. Thank you.